Hello. So if you remember our last lesson, we left off at slide 9. And we were doing these rhythms, and we had just gotten to here where we have the tie that makes these notes look so happy because they're tied together. And if you remember, quarter notes get 2 pulses. This will end up being the 8th note pulse that we do. So 2 8th notes fit inside of it, 1 quarter note. Or if you're keeping the beat on your leg, 1 pulse. So let's do this screen together. Ready? 1 and 2 and ready and go. Ta 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 ta. And then if you couldn't see that last one over there, it was a quarter note. Moving on to slide 10. So this is a tie. A tie is like a musical plus sign. It adds together the durations of the notes it's connecting. So you add together the beats or the pulses, either one. Just make sure you know which one you're using. So here we go. Here's another one. So how many pulses are tied together here? Go ahead and say it out loud. If you said 6, you're correct. And how many down here on the bottom line? That's a quarter note at the very end. If you said 8 pulses, you're correct. So try just this one right here in the second line. Try 6 pulses. 1, 2, ready, go. So I didn't do that with you that time. I'll do it to see if you did it right. Here's how I would do it. Ta. Then this bottom one, try that. The 8 pulses. 5, 6, 7, go. Okay, so to check your work, it's ta. All right. So if we do this whole slide, starting up here, I'm going to go ahead and do this with you, but maybe turn down your volume if you know you have this because you don't need me helping you. 5, 6, 7, go. Ta, 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 ta. All right. Then it says to go to whiteboard.fi. On your whiteboard, draw another way to write this without the tie. Skip that for right now and just draw it on a piece of paper next to you. If you know, because this presentation hadn't been working live, we were going to be using whiteboard, but now we're not. So on your whiteboard, draw another way to write this without the tie. What would you have drawn? Say it out loud. If you said half note, you are correct. A half note gets 4 pulses, and this gets 4 pulses. So if you see that, you do ta, and it's the same as that. So this is that same slide. Anytime there were 2 quarter notes tied together, we just replace it with the half note. So let me move my head kind of over in the middle here. All right. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Ta, 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 ta. Done. Okay. Moving on. Again, instead of the whiteboard, if we were going to tie these 2 together, so it would be, we know now that these are 4 pulses, right? Same as 2 quarter notes tied together, or 4 8th notes tied together. 4 of these. And we tie it here. What do we have? What kind of note? Now, if you drew it, label it. If you didn't draw it, if you didn't actually draw it, say it out loud. What kind of note gets 8 pulses or 4 beats? And if you said this, just a plain circle, the whole note, you are correct. So anytime you see this, it would be 8 pulses or 4 beats. So I rewrote that same slide that we just did with the whole note subbed in and the half note subbed in. So we've gotten rid of almost all the ties. Same slide. Let's do it. 5, 6, 7, go. Ta, 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 ta. All right. What do we do with that last tie? How can we rewrite it? Now, of course, we don't have the whiteboard, but we do. You do have paper next to you, hopefully, and if not, just say it out loud. So how many pulses would it get? We know already this is 4. And how many is this? 2. So altogether, it's 6 pulses. What kind of note gets 6 pulses? Or if we're doing beats, 3 beats. You said dotted half note, you'd be correct. So this tied to this is 6 pulses. This equals 6 pulses. 3 quarter notes tied together equals 6 pulses. And we haven't done eighth notes on this slide presentation yet. How many eighth notes would fit in that? 6 of them, because it's 6 pulses. 3 beats or 6 pulses. A dot next to a note means that note is held as long as 3 of the next smallest note tied together. So a dotted whole note equals 3 half notes tied together. A dotted half note equals 3 quarter notes tied together. And a dotted quarter note equals 3 eighth notes tied together. So let's try this. I added some rests in. I want you to perform it on your own once. I'll keep the pulse, and I'll actually keep the pulse and the beat, so you can count by beats or pulse. And then I'll perform it and you can check your work. So here's this one. Let's go through. How many eighth note pulses fit in a quarter note? 2. And you say it out loud and then I'll give you the answer. How many eighth note snaps pulses go in here? 2. And a half note, how many eighth note pulses? 4. Dotted half note, we just did this. How many? 6. How many eighth note pulses fit inside the quarter note? 2. Quarter rest? 2. Half note? 4. Quarter rest? 2. Whole note? 8. And remember, if you can't snap, just fake it. Here we go. I will keep the beat and the pulse while you perform it alone. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Line 1. Do that every time we get to the end of a slide. All right, check your work. Perform it again with me. 5, 6, 7, go. Ta, 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 ta. How'd you do?